When was the last time you had a few days off? Honestly, I've just finished my May Day holiday, which is about 2 or 3 days ago. I guess this is the first long holiday for Chinese, especially for the young generations, after all these pandemic thing, after the 3 years COVID. So everyone wants to hang around, and I'm no exception. So the next question is, what do you usually do when you have days off? For me, honestly, I'm not that type of person who really, get energy from hanging around with my friends outside all the time. So if I have only one day off, I'd rather stay at home, binge watching some, TV series over some snacks, or cuddle my pet cat and then sleep, maybe, or listen to some music, just to spend time at home feeling relaxed. But occasionally, if I'm invited to my friend's home to have dinner, or I would invite my friends to a cocktail bar and have a deep conversation over some drinks. So yeah, that's also a good way for me to spend my day off. And the next question is, do you usually spend your days off with your parents or with your friends? As I've mentioned, I'd rather stay at home, so occasionally I got to spend some time with my parents. But I also enjoy hanging around with friends, but I don't like to go shopping. I'd rather find somewhere to sit and talk. I really enjoy talking with my friends. The feeling of exchanging our opinions and thoughts really, inspired me a lot, and it can also be a good way to enhance the friendship. So yeah. So the last question is, what would you like to do if you have a day off tomorrow? If I'm gonna have a day off, which I am honestly, I plan to spend it with someone that I like or someone who's really close to me. I guess only when you spend time with someone who knows you well or who could actually allow you to be yourself will you be able to fully feel rested and relaxed, or to release the pressure from all the daytime work. So yes, that's the plan.
When was the last time you had a few days off? Well, the latest day off I had was the Labor Day. So everyone's got 3 or 4 days off, I'm not sure. Me and my friends went to a nearby mountain. Anyway, we didn't make it up to the top of the mountain. And actually, we didn't visit the mountain at all. We just strolled in the city area and tried some local snacks and dishes, which was amazing. Oh, and also we did paragliding, which was the first time for me to try that kind of sport. It was not bad actually, but the time was a bit short. Hopefully next time when I try it, it could be longer and I will be able to take more nice pictures. What do you usually do when you have days off? Well, I think my days off are rather simple. Most of the time I would just try to get a bit more sleep. I might sleep all the way until 11 o'clock. Even though I wake up earlier than that, I will try to stay on my bed until that time. Then I will get a quick brunch myself, or if the weather's nice, I would go out with my friends to get something to eat and catch up. But if it's a day just for myself, I might try to find a movie and watch it on my laptop. Perhaps I would do some reading, but that's rare. Most of the time, I would just play some games at home, and yeah, that's pretty much about my days off. Do you usually spend your days off with your parents or with your friends? Well, honestly speaking, I spend most of my days off with myself. Yeah, you heard me right. Because I think sometimes I perceive myself as an introverted person. So being with people, especially with people who I'm not so familiar with, can be rather energy consuming. What would you like to do if you had a day off tomorrow? Well, I don't think I would do anything special. I'll try to avoid anything related to my work and just totally unwind me from my daily. I might watch a film on my laptop or check on the latest TV drama. Perhaps I would catch up with my friends or go get some food, but I think 90% I might just get some takeouts.
What would you do if you had a day off? If I had an entire day off to myself, there are several things I would likely get up to. To start, I'd probably sleep in a bit and not set an alarm, since having a lazy morning without being in a rush is a luxury on a day off. Once I got up and around, I'd brew some coffee and enjoy a good breakfast while reading the news or a book I've been meaning to catch up on. After After that, if the weather was nice, I'd want to get outside for some fresh air and exercise. If I felt like being social, I might meet a friend for lunch at our favorite restaurant. There are lots of ways I might spend a well-deserved day off. But in general, just relaxing, unwinding, and avoiding routine tasks would be ideal after a long week. Do you usually spend your day off with your family or with your friends? It really depends on the situation and what I have going on. When I was younger, I would typically spend more of my days off with family and parents. As I've gotten older and become more independent, I now split my free time between family, friends, and myself. These days, I'd say it's a pretty even mix between the three. I try to make time to see my parents regularly on weekends and holidays, especially on days off. But I also value time with friends, having a social life of my own. We may get lunch, see movies, hike, or engage in hobbies together. And of course, some days off, I cherish alone time for solitary hobbies, chores, relaxation, or travel. In the end, maintaining those relationships is meaningful, even as independence grows. So on any given day off, you're likely to find me splitting time between family togetherness, friend outings, and solo restorative activities. When was your last day off? Let me think. My last actual full day off from work obligations was probably a couple of weekends ago. If I recall correctly, it was a Saturday that I had free time with no major chores or social commitments on the schedule. I believe I started that morning by sleeping in later than usual, waking up slowly without an alarm around 9 a.m. Once I was up, I made some coffee and a lazy breakfast, did some casual reading for a couple of hours. Around midday, I went out for a long walk around my neighborhood, stopped by the park, and enjoyed some fresh air and exercise. In the afternoon, I watched a movie and did some light chores around the house, like laundry, cleaning, and bill paying while snacking. For dinner, I tried a new recipe I found online and ate while doing some online shopping and browsing. In the evening, a friend called for a chat, and we ended up talking for over an hour. By the time we hung up, the night was winding down, so I took a hot shower and read another chapter of my book before bed. Nothing too crazy or adventurous, but an enjoyable low-key day, recharging at my own relaxed pace.